everyone, Jessica Swarbrick here with Strand Hill. I'm sitting in Manhattan Beach and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Natalie Obradovich. So if you don't know Natalie, Natalie grew up in the South Bay. She's now this jet-setting world traveler, little ball of fire, who I'm pretty sure is sponsored by Revolve, but we haven't gotten to that yet. Only person I know who moved to New York right before the pandemic, spent her time in New York, and then is back visiting. So I'm so excited to introduce you to her because we have something special for you guys at the end of this video. But I really want you to get to know Natalie and see the personality behind her business. So Natalie, you grew up here, you went to SC, and then started design.
Yeah, so I grew up in Manhattan Beach. I was born and raised here. I think I'm third generation from Manhattan Beach. Like my dad grew up down in the South Bay as well. And I went to Miracosta and then graduated from USC after and moved directly to New York when I was like 22. And then worked, before I moved, I worked for Kelly Wearstler. And once I moved, I worked for all high-end
Which is
interior.
Only like the biggest interior designer in the world.
She's amazing. And then worked for high-end firms for like 7-8 years.
And now she's transitioned into photography. So that's what we're going to talk about today is her photography business and kind of the travels and what came of that. So we were talking a little bit. She's definitely done some traveling during this last year.
I have.
Where have you been?
So in the last year, oh my gosh. So I just like full disclosure. So I'm based in New York and my family's not here and I don't have a typical job where I go into an office, I work from home, I work for myself. So I don't really run a risk when I see people when I travel. So in last year, I've been to Croatia and Italy and Kenya in December, which was, I went on a safari, which was like the most incredible experience you'll ever have in your life.
I saw a few of the pictures and I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah, it was insane. And then I was in Anguilla about 3 weeks ago. I've been to the UK 5 or 6 times. So I really used the opportunity, apparently, which has been great. And my job's changed a lot and my business sort of exploded during COVID, which I know a lot of people that happened to. So I went from, having interiors projects and working half and half, where now I'm no longer taking on any interiors projects and I'm focusing on photography. So it allows me to travel even more.
So how did you transition into kind of you were already traveling?
So I was already, it's an interesting thing because I have no formal training in photography.
Which you would never know.
Yeah, so I am self-taught. Like I taught myself how to use a camera. Like I use, photographers use Lightroom. I taught myself how to use Lightroom, which I've, just get better and improve over time. But I think a lot of it had to do, honestly, with like the way that I got into it was like, I grew up on the beach. I didn't wear shoes. I'm from Manhattan Beach. Like obviously like we know how mellow it is down here.
Amen.
Which is like amazing. Like, did junior lifeguards, like the whole thing. And then when I lived in New York in the winter, like I would have massive seasonal depression. And I would always want to get out. So I would like go down to the Caribbean or go to Miami. And then I just started taking photos because it was something I was generally like naturally attracted to. Because I'm a creative person, and then people started asking to buy them.
I was just gonna say, was it people seeing your pictures and asking to buy them?
Asking to buy them, and then once Instagram became more like Instagram that we know. And at one point I was a style ambassador for Ferragamo, which because of my photos. It was like, I don't know, New York in your 20s. It was awesome. That obviously like gave me more exposure. And then, once I was really tired of New York. I hated my job, and my sister who's my business partner, she convinced me into starting this business. And so I moved back to LA and I started this company, and it within a month I got picked up by One Kings Lane, and I'm like their #1 selling photographer and artist.
Are you really?
Yeah, which is crazy.
So we'll show you some pictures of Natty's work, but I think the thing I love is that you have these really bright colored pictures which especially at the beach, like I just love these kind of staple pieces
Yeah.
that are beach life. You got the bright umbrellas.
Yeah.
And then you have all the coast of Italy.
Yeah,
and
I
France
focus a lot
and-
in Italy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And
the whole
it's just
thing is,
really, you have everything from like big staple pieces that would go in a living room to smaller pieces in a bathroom or
yeah.
a powder room.
Exactly.
And they're just such beautiful pictures. I have a big one in my living room. My sister probably has like 4. She has a big one behind her couch, 2 smaller ones. So that's where we kind of wanted to go into is I'm super excited because Natty's gonna do a giveaway.
Yes,
and
I am.
we're gonna do a giveaway on one of her pictures. So what are some of your favorite places to shoot?
So obviously, if you see my website or anything, on my Instagram, it's Italy. Like I'm fell in love with the country. I don't know. I'm not Italian, but if you looked at my Instagram or my website, you would assume that I was. Yeah. So there's something about the culture and the way that they live, especially the way that they live in the summer and the beach and the way that they holiday. It's just like there's such a culture involved in it and a history involved. Just like the food and, the way they speak, like everything about Italy is it's such a magical place. And there's so many parts of the country that give you so many different things, but like are equally as beautiful. So, I've done Puglia, which is completely different than somewhere like the Amalfi Coast.
Where's Puglia?
Puglia is on the southern east side of the boot. So it's like the east coast of the boot.
Okay.
So it's like technically on the Adriatic Sea,
Okay.
which is very cool and like much more whitewashed. It like looks a little tiny bit more Grecian, but so yeah, Italy is definitely, in Capri is like a place that I've been there every year for the last 7 years, I want to say. So I've spent a lot of time there.
And then tell us, my new favorite one is the giraffe picture.
Yeah, so
love that picture.
that photo is insane. So I was in, that actually like took that like my first hour that I was in Kenya, like when I first got to a
Really?
lodge. Yeah, it was crazy. So I went on this trip and I went with a travel agent who specializes in Africa. So she like fully had the trip like dialed. Like I showed up, like I did absolutely nothing as far as planning goes. And the first lodge we stayed at used to be a private home, which was like beyond, like it was so like out of Africa. Like it was just incredible. And so they have this, it's like, so maybe like show photos of what it looks like. They have this thing called the hide, and it's like there's the house, and then like you walk through this door and you go down a tunnel, and like you walk down this tunnel, and then they have a viewing deck of all the giraffes. So you like literally like open these curtains and there's just like giraffes eating and like hanging out, and you can like see hippos and like
it
antelopes.
looked like the picture you were really
yeah,
close to
you're
the
literally like this close to them, and you're trying to be really quiet because if you like sneeze, they freak out. So, which I like scared them off a few times. Obviously, I don't know how to be quiet.
I was just gonna say.
So yeah, which like that's how I got the shot, and I like eventually I just stood there and took photos of them for a while. So it's like
that must be a popular picture right now.
Yeah, that is.
Well, your pictures are so pretty.
Yeah.
And it's so fun sitting down with you. You guys would just love Natalie in person. She's like just this ball of fire with a ton of energy. And I'm so excited to do this giveaway. I can't wait to see everybody's comments on it and what pictures you guys like. Because again, everybody's so different. Yeah. So maybe it'll be a beach picture. Maybe it'll be a giraffe picture.
Yeah, the giraffes are good. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, and if you're in Southern California, you said House of Spoils.
Yeah, House of Spoils. They sell all of my work. I don't have that's my gallery actually. That's technically my gallery. And right now they have one space in Venice Beach, so that's a good way to see my photos. And you can sign up. They're like setting up appointments right now, so you can go see my photos there.
And then obviously you can purchase anything off my website. Her website,
as well.
And we'll link Natalie's Instagram as well, so that you can see all the pictures on there. But so fun sitting down with you, and thanks so much for doing this.